Hello, folks. We are live. Pull back our music just a little bit more. Yeah, CS and Jonathan, give me a quick sound check as usual, please.
Hey, Sam.
There, I hear you. All right.
Always a good start.
To go. Yeah. All right. How are you?
Oh man, I know we haven't talked in a while. Last week, I think between storms and rains and whatever, at least here in the Midwest for us, I mean, we were hit pretty good with winds, and I was pretty lucky. But yeah, we had connectivity issues all Monday.
Yeah, I think we missed some of the storms by a little bit by the lake here. But I mean, there, lots of areas with like lost power, and I remember you saying like, shall we do it over like phone hotspot? I was like, I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
We opted out of that one, so maybe someday we'll try it.
Someday. All right, folks. So good afternoon and good evening. I don't think it's morning anywhere else in the world. Maybe parts of Australia, Asia Pacific is like super early morning.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining us here at Coded Live. I am Sam Basu. I'm a dev advocate at Progress Software. And with me, I have my good friend, Jonathan Reed, also from Progress.
Yeah, still working here. They still allow me to work here, Sam. Thanks. No. Yeah, still Sitefinity Solutions engineer and living that Sitefinity dream.
Good stuff. Yeah, you know when you start a stream and you get like a bunch of phone calls all at the same time.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's life. Yeah.
All right, so folks, if you're just joining us, Coded Live. Hopefully, you've joined us before. We hang out here and we do a bunch of things throughout the week. We are starting off a little late than usual. We normally do the Sitefinity Mondays like 1 to 2:30 Eastern time. Today, Jonathan had important meetings, and I'm clearly not important enough for Jonathan. So we had to push back. That's all good. We're here.
It was that time zone thing you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So last week we were on a stream where we had four people from 4 different time zones. So Eastern, then Standard, the Pacific, and then we had somebody from Europe join us. So it was a complete miracle that everybody came together at the same time.
Right.
But okay, so here we are. We are on a fresh week, fresh Monday. And it's time for Sitefinity, time for some CMS, right. And we are looking at Jonathan Reed's desktop here. He's driving, and he's obviously, being the pro, has dark mode on. I got called out, Jonathan, last week.
What?
I use light theme when I'm streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Folks are like... I don't know. I mean, I just like it. I just like it when I'm streaming.
Well, don't forget, I'm sitting in a dark basement. If I had it in light mode, I'd be blind by the end of the day. It's only so bright in here right now for you, Sam.
There you go. Do you have like lights right on top of you? Like I do see the back.
Yeah, I got a new one. See,
nice.
We got right on top of me.
Nice.
Get that one out of the way. Yeah, I'm thinking about covering my shiny pipe behind me someday, but we'll see about that.
Keeps it real. Yeah. Okay, so like you said, it's been like 2 weeks. So
that's right.
we are building a site here, folks, that's completely driven by CMS, and it's a restaurant chain. It's a corporate restaurant chain with lots of locations, and I think we are trying to build the location page.
Yeah,
the content that shows so every restaurant location can have its own page, and they get to choose what content they want displayed, and then corporate gets to decide some of the styling and the content that is available. So where did we stop?
Well, we stopped when my web service wasn't registering. Actually, in fact, I've not overcome this hurdle and may have found myself into everybody's fun and familiar .NET DLL hell.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So we're keeping it real here. You're going to
We
see
are.
us struggle through. And like one more, I guess, caveat before we start. Since we had to move our times back, we do have our good friend Ed Sherbino and John Bristow. They do a podcast every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Eastern. So
Right.
at 4 we gotta do a hard stop, so
That's
they can go on. So if you are here, this is gonna be like an 50-minute worth of Sitefinity stuff and CMS, and then feel free to just hang out with us. So Ed and John talk about things that are relevant for developers every week. So they cover news, and it's a great podcast. So just hang out with us.
Absolutely, yeah. So, well, I think without further ado, maybe we should dive in, huh, Sam?
Yeah.
But yeah, like we were Sam was covering, we were trying. There we go. I got to build again. We were trying to build our location finder, which lives itself up here in the top right hand corner. It's going to have a web service behind the scenes that's going to look through our Sitefinity content, calculate the distance from the user, then hopefully if there's a location within a preset, 50 kilometers, 100 miles, whatever you want to do, we're going to display it right up here in this top right-hand corner. So where we ended up last time was the web service wasn't registering. I think I'm still in the same component. Actually, 100% honesty, it has really nothing to do with Sitefinity. This is a .NET thing that, at least as far as I could find. And I was working on it this morning and still wasn't having very much luck. And now I seem to have gotten myself into a place where my rotator is not working either, so we might need to fix some additional components in here. But let's focus first and foremost on what we were working with last time, and let's see if I got that service to register. So just as a review, we are working in a separate class library here. In this class library, we have an MVC folder, just following the typical MVC structure.
Can I ask you something, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Please.
completely drawing a blank. Why did we have a different web service for this?
That's a good question. So the reason we have a different web service is we actually have to perform the literal calculation of how far a location is from the user. The out-of-the-box Sitefinity web services just don't have that feature involved in it. So we've decided to write our own following the API controller method from .NET.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, good question, though. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. But yeah, we follow the folder structure. In this case, we have MVC widgets as well as just web API controllers. So within my MVC controller folder, controllers, plural, we have our geolocator controller. Within that, we use a helper class, which we didn't really code during this. It was something that I had done on my own and brought into here. But we're really trying to expose, any of these for that matter. But first, we want to try to find the closest location to user, which is this method right here on line 27. Is that font big enough, Sam?
Maybe just go one up.
One up it is. 146. Gotcha. All right. Have you ever figured out how to? Side note. You ever figured out how to make the Solution Explorer bigger? I don't think we have that capability, do we?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, you can zoom in and out, but no.
Yeah. No, that'll be a different story. Okay, cool. So again, we're trying to get this to expose here. I just recently rebuilt the site, and it just we just loaded up here. So that's good. We'll check on why our rotator isn't working here in a few seconds. But all right, let's go take a peek at Postman. For those of you who are not familiar, this is not a Postman tutorial by any means, but it is a great utility to test web APIs. And in this case, we have. Side note, let me go back to show you how it's registered. So here's where I'm having the biggest trouble right now, is my pre-application start method is not firing. For whatever reason, these methods here are not firing, and my route basically isn't getting registered, at least from what I figured out to this current point, right? So what I've done is I actually went and I deleted all my bin folders, all my OBJ folders out of each project structure. I then went and did a Nougat package reinstallation. I find it easiest to do this via the command prompt. I think you can still do it through the UI, although I've never personally tried. But so I went ahead and did the update package dash reinstall to try to reinstall the package, just to make sure that something didn't get lost in a clean, or maybe I moved some folders. Who knows? So we've done that. We've reinstalled all the packages. What we're gonna do, guys, if this doesn't work, is we're actually gonna go ahead and we're gonna try a Sitefinity upgrade after this, because
Oh boy.
Because why not, right,
Isn't
Sam?
like a Hail Mary.
That's a Hail Mary. You're right. I think we're pretty fixed here. It's got to be. I mean, the only thing I found in Stack Overflow and other platforms is I'm either missing Nougat packages, which I've compared to other projects which I built in the last week that work perfectly fine. So I don't know. We're gonna learn together.
How do you know the startup is not getting called? Like it doesn't hit your breakpoint?
Yeah, mostly because it doesn't. So I've tried executing directly out of Visual Studio, as well as attaching to my IIS process and seeing if it attaches there. Neither of which it ever hits breakpoints. I am in debug mode. Thank you for asking. Trust me, I've made that mistake before too. But I appear to be in debug mode. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here. But let's see. So again, I've recently just rebuilt a project. I did get my front end loading again, so that's good. Let's just try Postman again. This is not a Postman tutorial. All we're really doing here is we're passing content type, accept type, and then we're passing it to a particular endpoint. The endpoint is called Locations API based on the way we have it configured here in the startup. So locations-API, controller name, action, and then ID being an optional parameter. I'm not going to dive. Whoa, don't do that. I'm not going to. Don't hit the keyboard. I'm not going to dive too deep into the exact setups here. But this is again just registering an MVC route. All right. That said, let's hit this Postman and let's see if we get this to work.
While it's coming up, like
yeah, no, we're already done. It didn't work, but
okay. That was quick. But you failed fast. You don't waste time.
I'm very good at failing. Thank you, Sam. Ask my wife. No.
So oh boy, you don't want to go there.
Oh no, we won't.
So like the whole problem is like we have a separate web service and you're trying to register that in the app itself. Like, is there any potential like you could have done this within the Sitefinity app?
Sure, I absolutely could, and that is one other option for us to try, where I could just register it in the global ASCX file.
Yeah.
That's not inappropriate, and actually, I mean, it would be a try. I prefer to keep them in
cleaner, just to keep it separate.
Sure.
Yeah.
That is it's a good point. That is something that we could try. We could basically move it into the web application here, Sitefinity web app. If you place it in there, and then we'd register the specific route here in the global.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's exhaust all our options with the separate thing, because I do also like it being like standalone and doing its thing.
I concur. Yeah, it's a pretty strange thing. I've even the only thing I probably haven't done, Sam, is restarted my computer, which fail on me. Being a Microsoft user, right? Fail on me for not restarting my computer. That's the only option that I haven't tried. Probably not the best option to try right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, fine.
So, you could I'm gonna lose you, and then we'll have to come back up. Right, so let's try everything else.
All right, so what I'm going to do here, just for giggles here and just to prove a point, I'm going to clean the solution. I'm going to rebuild it. And then we're going to attach to the W3 process to see if we can get it to hit. And we're going to prove it one more time just by running it directly out of Visual Studio just to see if we can get it to hit. My suspicions are, again, there's some DLL missing, and I don't even get anything in the error logs, which is even more. And even to prove that fact, let's go here. So teaching point, I suppose, the logs for Sitefinity live in your app data folder, app data, whichever way it is. App data, Sitefinity, and then logs. Here's our error log. Ooh, we do have an error, so maybe we should peek at that. I like to look at it on Notepad++. Plus, I like to leave it That's a lot of pluses. I like to leave it open because I can see where it gets reloaded. Okay, so missing method except. So I wonder if this. I don't suspect this has anything to do with it, but let's investigate here. Okay, so method not found, system string, coriander lane dot locations, MVC models, closest location model, get message. Okay, so let's go take a peek. See, let me get a couple of these.
Finding a method. Okay.
Yeah, I don't suspect that has anything to do with it, but let's.
Well, what about the timestamp though on the error? Was that like something that happened just now?
So this is going to use UTC time, so 34. So as long as it was 6 minutes ago, it's probably here. We can let's see. Let's just do this. Let's see if it was the same error here. Oh wait, we want to attach while we do this too, so we don't miss the timing here. So I did Control-Alt-P or debug attach to process, and you want to attach to the W3WP as I'm hosting this in IIS. I might have already missed the bootstrapping time, but we can see what happens here. Maybe not. I probably missed it. So you can see it's hitting my additional code that happens to be in this same class library. So the class library is working correctly. And in fact, let's just step through here and see if we can catch the error while we're walking around here. Search box header. See. Okay, well that's fine. I don't need that right now. Okay, well I didn't see it throw the exception there. So either I caught it and logged it, or it didn't happen again. Okay, no error, no new logs. It's interesting. We'll double check just to make sure in here. Okay, so it didn't happen on just general page load. So either the widget was cached and this only happened during an initial execution, or something else is going on. So let's see a little bit more here. Okay, so front end assembly. Okay, get message. I know that it doesn't exist because it's not even something. I know it doesn't exist because I don't have it. But why does it need it? It's the better question. Let's just see here. We're just kind of taking some. Just trying to see if there's anything called. I can't think of any method that I've written called get message, so that's interesting too. So
could be a system like ASP.NET.
Yeah, you're okay. Locations, close location model get.
If you're just joining us, folks, in the chat room, we are writing ASP.NET MVC, but it's wrapped inside of a CMS, Sitefinity, and we're trying to build different locations for a corporate restaurant chain.
You are right. So the only other thing I could see that might be happening could be on these. Here, let's take these out for now. Control K, Control C, that's a comment if you like keyboard shortcuts.
It's different for Mac.
What is it, like fruit key and something else?
There's a // so you go command / command C / and command C /
That's right. All right, I'm going to comment out this last line too, just for giggles. All right, we're just going to rebuild. I like to do Control-Shift-B. Equate into Mac, I'm not sure. Isn't just command? Isn't command the replacement for control, right?
Mostly, yeah.
All right. So let's see. what we did here. See if we get the same errors here. In fact, I can actually clear this log and save it. That way we get the freshest of the fresh. And the reason I could interact with it was because the application pool is recycling. So it's not locked by that process or anything else. All right, let's see if we got any error. Okay, no immediate errors, so it must be coming from those particular methods, so that's good to know. Okay, let's see if that happened to cause any issues here. No. So we still get a 404 on our service here. It's still not registering correctly. And during that process, we also did something to this. What did I do here? Global is not defined.
If you're, now you moved it up. If you're showing things way down in the left-hand corner.
Is that better? There you go.
Yeah, your camera is blocking it.
Yeah, so that said 404, and this is global. Okay, so I think I know. All right, wow. Welcome to coding. All right, so we're gonna go take a quick peek at this other, this other widget here. So I have this slide widget. I'm gonna make sure you can see why it's not initializing. Should. Oh, I know where that. Okay, so that didn't come from here. All right. So that's okay. So the global came from here. So this has got some global scripts in it. So let's get this back in play here and build this. Building solution again. We'll reintroducing some components, sort of really one at a time here to try to identify what's causing our issues here. I'm gonna do a hard cache and reload here just to make sure. All right, reloading this page here. Let's just also peek around just to see a little bit. Okay. Should be about done now. Here we go. Huh. All right, so still a 404 there, so it's not working. But where am I calling this from?
So maybe like like the service registration maybe does need your computer to reboot, and I don't know, what's worth a try. Maybe it's like, so that part we can do next week.
Yeah, we can move on to let's move on to something else. We'll come back to that. I think what might be important to do here. All right, so got a couple options here, Sam. One, we could do an upgrade. I mean, this is on Sitefinity 12.2, and the latest is 13.
How long does it take?
In general, not very long. So let's just do it.
All right.
So I like to do it through. We have a new option that we could utilize here. So let's do this. So I'm going to open up a it's not what I'm gonna open up a PowerShell window here, and we're gonna actually do okay, please open a PowerShell window. All right, fine. Do it the hard way. All right. Not the ISE. Oh my goodness, Sam, I'm off it here, man. I can't type either. All right, one more time there. Here we go. All right, we're going to navigate to a quick structure here. So I already have the Sitefinity CLI installed. So it happens to live in this. This is the default installation directory when you install the CLI via the Sitefinity Visual Studio plugin. You can also go get the CLI from the CLI. It's open source, so come in here and extend it if need be. But we really want to focus on one specific function, which is down here, and upgrading. Okay. There's additional documentation here that we can follow. So basically, you need to know the path to your solution and which version you're upgrading to.
And don't you need like the Visual Studio can stay open all through? Like it's not changing any of the bits?
Sure, it's actually going to open its own version of Visual Studio, so we can either close it, or I think it will utilize the one you already had open, or open a new one. We're going to do it together, so we'll see. Also, go ahead.
Really dumb question. Like this is on a per website basis, or is it like a global on your machine altogether?
Yeah, good question. So this is really per solution, right? Okay. So yes, per website typically, as you're going to target the specific solution. So you can see in the instructions here, Sitefinity Web App Solution. Well, ours is called Code It Live, so we'll be targeting the Code It Live solution in our particular folder structure.
Yep, got it.
And it, in theory, should upgrade all the projects that are involved in that particular solution. So without further ado, let's give this a whirl. So we're going to go SF upgrade. It lives in C work / code it live / I don't remember the rest, so let me get my structure open here. All right, so we got it in the Code It Live, and actually that's right where our solution lives. So I typically keep my solution outside of my folder structures. So here's my solution, here's project 1, project 2, and then our Sitefinity web app. So, and the solution, its name is Code It Live Solution, so easy enough. So Code It Live -SLN, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and blanket accept the licenses. And here this whole time I thought I was showing this documentation and it was on a wrong screen. I'm so sorry. Probably thought I was crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, this is the documentation we're looking at all. It was on a different screen because John doesn't know how to use screen shares. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. This is the command that we're focusing on here, SF upgrade, and then we actually are going to target this specific version. There is a later version, like an internal patch or build that we could utilize. This is the full version release. Doesn't really matter in this case which one you're doing, but for us, we'll just target the major version there. And again, we're going to blanket accept the policies. I think I was on this page. So we'll use this accept license here. So accept license, as long as I spell it right. Looks like it. Okay, and then lastly, which version we're going to. We'll just supply that in a string, and that's going to be 13.0.7300.0. Okay. Any questions so far?
No. Since the docs are pretty clear.
See what happens. Oh, because we're in PowerShell, sorry, I forgot. I got to do this a little bit different. Let's do it like that. There we go. Okay, so here it's going to give us a warning. The upgrade will launch Visual Studio Instance in order to, yeah, that's fine. Do not close the open version. Okay, we understand. So let's go ahead and, just so you guys can see it in its full entirety. Whoops, I didn't mean to open a new one. I meant to close this one. Oh, really? I thought that closed it. Hey, did you know middle clicking, opens a new one of these? Anyway, I didn't. All right, I'm going to close it just so you can watch this whole entire process. We're going to answer yes to this, and we are going to have at it. So what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and call out to Nougat for us. It's going to get the package sources, and then it's going to apply them to our particular project and or solution. All right, I'm going to take a quick step here. It's not really a sales thing, but I want to mention that we've actually taken this entire CLI and we've actually embedded it with Sitefinity Cloud. Sitefinity Cloud in a custom pipeline, Azure DevOps, we actually query out and find when new Sitefinity versions are there, and then we use this CLI to actually upgrade your hosted project within Sitefinity automatically. It goes even further and branches your code automatically in the Git repo. It even spins up a small instance of an Azure service to run the actual upgrade. If there are any failures during that process, we send you an automated alert saying, hey, something went wrong. You can pull the code down to your environment, and then you can totally make any adjustments as needed and move on your way. So we've taken this process even further with our Sitefinity Cloud platform. So as you can see here, it's just running through a bunch of stuff here in just a few moments. It'll open Visual Studio for us and make some additional applies there.
How much are we talking about here? Like how many Nougat packages? How much worth of DLLs?
Like 70 to 100. I've never counted. But Sitefinity has quite a few DLLs. I think it's around 50, 70.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, this is the whole platform.
Sure, absolutely.
CMS runs on.
Absolutely. All right, so it's still getting. Here we go. So now it's launching our Visual Studio environment here.
Are you on Wi-Fi or are you wired in?
I'm both.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you're fast.
Hey, when you live in the middle of nowhere, no one else shares your internet, you get fast stuff, man.
Don't get me started on our internet providers. They're in a league of their own.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're still not going to close anything here. We're gonna let it do its thing. I've just pulled my PowerShell over top here, so you could watch any other instructions. But basically, what it's going to do here is it's going to apply the packages to all of the included projects and do its thing here. So let's see how much processor power I have now. My internet's apparently fast, but we'll see how much processor goodies we got here. So right now it's really just waiting on some responses from Visual Studio. I know that because I've looked behind the scenes of the code. All right, there you go. You can see some other things are happening. Now it's opening up the console to then apply any additional operations here. You can also do this in silent mode behind the scenes if you don't want to see all this kind of stuff. There was a indication to do that in the documentations here. So.
Cool.
Okay, so hopefully this won't take but another couple minutes here. Let's see. So it's opening the console. We're still waiting on some things here, so we can let it do its thing. So
this probably sets us up nicely for whatever else we do next. I mean, we are on the latest and greatest.
Well, yeah, and actually, since we're talking about it here, if you guys ever want to know what the latest and greatest is, hop on. I always go to sitefinity.com/timeline. This gives you a timeline release of all the components we have. It only goes back to version 9, but there's obviously more versions than that. So yeah, here's the current one. It was released on May 14th. Sitefinity 13.1 should be coming out, I think, in the next month or so.
Nice.
But you can see here.
Yeah, I didn't know about this. This is nice.
Yeah. So you can see this upgrade feature through CLI was just released in May. So that's some new featuring, as well as our .NET Core renderer, which I'm hoping to get into one of these conversations in the next few weeks too.
I put the link out there for that.
Oh yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. All right, let's see how this process is running along here. Oh, waiting for operations to complete, so it's still doing its thing here. Okay, so you can see it's still applying Nougat packages, as you can see down here in the bottom of the screen. And sorry if that's the left corner or right corner or whoever corner, but you can see that down here. Or maybe not if my face is hiding it.
A little bit, but we can still see some of it go past.
Yeah, so we'll get this. Shouldn't take too much longer, I don't think. Again, at this point, it's really just about how much processing power you can have. Okay, so why do we have this tool? Because I mean, as you're probably asking, you could do all this right through Visual Studio, right? I mean, why didn't I just right-click on the solution and say Manage Nougat Packages? Well, if you've ever done that and you've run your project afterwards, you got maybe 50-50 shot at it working without you having some type of assembly missing type of issue. Well, in fact, this is actually a Microsoft issue. Microsoft knows about it. Microsoft has documented about it. Microsoft hasn't fixed it. For those of you who don't know, Nougat is controlled by them. So long story short is we didn't really see a light at the end of that tunnel. So we went ahead and continued to utilize the power of Nougat packages. But what we also do behind the scenes is we go ahead and we set up those assembly binding redirects where needed. And that's where, if any of you have ever gone through a Sitefinity upgrade before, that sometimes was the most painful portion of it, was having to go back at assembly binding, go back at assembly binding, go back. You run, and it doesn't happen at build time, it happens at runtime. So you couldn't even see it during the build operation. You'd have to run the site, you'd see the fail, run the site, see the next failed, missing. So what we try to do again is take care of those assembly binding redirects for you behind the scenes. The tool will also upgrade your .NET framework as well. So if you're coming from a version that's not already on .NET 4.7.2, which Sitefinity 12.2 was, let's say you're on version 9. I think it was using 4.6 or something similar. It'll upgrade those package references for your framework as well, as it takes care of that for you too. So we've taken what Microsoft gave us as the supposed good tool and just expanded on it further, implemented it into our Sitefinity cloud, and then also implemented it here as a component for you. Coming, I'm not sure exactly when, but it will become a Visual Studio menu option here as well to upgrade the process. To upgrade Sitefinity as part of the Visual Studio plugin. We just haven't released it yet. Okay, I think we're finally done here. We still don't need to do anything yet.
What is this?
So basically, it's saying your project is modified outside the environment.
Okay. Yeah.
But we shouldn't touch anything yet. I don't think I need to acknowledge that one, but let me just double check here real quick. It's been okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, we don't need to. Yeah, I was gonna say I shouldn't need to acknowledge anything. It's still gonna do some stuff behind the scenes here. So I'm gonna continue to let it do its thing. It's checking all the packages. All the projects, making sure that they're applied correctly. Okay, so it's went through the Sitefinity web app. It's now gone through Coriander Lane locations. There we go. Now our Coriander Lane helpers project. Sorry, this did take a little bit longer than I expected, but okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Visual Studio has closed, and in theory, our upgrade is now successful.
Because keep in mind, like Skype does eat into your CPU cycles quite a bit as well.
Sure. Good point.
So,
Good point.
yeah.
Plus the screen share, plus the background blur, plus I can't sit still. No, I'm kidding. All right, so hey, let's go take a look at and see how we did here. So I'm just gonna open up Visual Studio. Also, as a side note, guys, make sure you're running Visual Studio as an admin, especially if you want to run Sitefinity directly out of Visual Studio. It is of the utmost importance. All right, we're running as an admin here. You can see everything. I was under source control, so everything's checked out. Let's go ahead and give her a build. And let's see if everything built successfully. Go. Okay, it said the build succeeded, so that's a good thing. Let's head on back over here. And again, we're hosting this on localhost here. Just your local loopback, if you will, through IIS. All right, so we're going to go ahead and refresh this particular page. So two things are going to happen. One, it's going to ask me for a license. Two, apparently our assembly bindings didn't get corrected. So we're going to have to do it manually. So the struggle is real. All right, so let's go ahead and take a peek and see what happened here.
What does this mean? Like, assembly bindings didn't get fixed?
Correct. So what it should have done here is it should have added our assembly bindings for Sitefinity to its newest source here. So there should be assembly bindings here for the Sitefinity
like the version
notions.
Update?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So it should look something about like this. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and grab. Let me get the documentation out of the way. All right. So it's looking for Sitefinity front end here. And guess what John's doing after the call? All right, you need the public key token. And you need to know which version. So we're gonna say anything from 0 to 13.0.7300.0 should be forwarded to this specific assembly version. So, which is going to be that. Okay, so anything from version 0 to version 13.0.3700 should be forwarded to the version 13.
Okay.
Now, the upgrade tool should have handled that for me. Not exactly sure why it didn't, and so I guess we can see if there are any additionals afterwards. Since I just modified the web config, the application will recycle for me. Since I'm hosting it through IIS, I can simply just reload this page, and we can see what happens. My guess is if it didn't work on one, it probably didn't work on the rest. Oh, maybe it did. Maybe for whatever reason just missed that one. We'll still take it back as something for our team, but you can see now that the site is actually upgrading. So behind the scenes, it's running any database schema changes, file changes, whatever it might need to do. It's going to go ahead and handle those operations behind the scenes.
Yeah, and Jonathan, just a quick reminder for our next stream. We do have a hard stop in like 11 minutes.
11 minutes heard.
Yeah.
So this shouldn't take too terribly longer. Actually, while we're doing that, I can head over to Telerik.com or Progress.com or Sitefinity.com, either of which will get you all to the same place. We're going to log in. I got to get my most recent Sitefinity key, or at least the one for version 13, because right now I'm running on 12. So you can just watch me navigate around a little bit here. We're going to go to the Sitefinity CMS. I am going to manage my domains and licenses. I'm going to go ahead and look at corianderlane.com and manage that. And here is where I can get my license keys. So I'm going to grab one specifically for 13. I'm going to download it. That's fine. Sitefinity license. I'll keep it the same name. Okay. So as soon as this upgrade process is done, all right, good. We can go ahead and go to the site. All right, so now it's going to ask me for, if you only have one license in your account, you can actually use your username and password. Since I have so many licenses, it doesn't work quite as easily as it does for single tenant users. So I'm just going to use this license file I've downloaded. That's the one we just downloaded. You can find it here in my downloads, right there. All right, we're going to activate the license. Let's confirm it's the right one. Everything seems good to me. All right, cool. Continue. All right, so real quick, we just covered how to apply a new license. So if you're doing the upgrade process, or even if you change your Sitefinity features, maybe you go from the pro version to the online marketing, or the online marketing version to the enterprise version. It's simply as simple as changing out your license key like this.
I like the fact that it's like just one file you download and be done with it.
For sure. Yeah, that keeps the control really in the actual application. So Sitefinity itself doesn't query out to.
Yeah.
I'll be a darn person. I want to say a lot of explicitives right now, but guess what, Sam? Two things happen. One, our finder's not working.
I see that.
Insert expletives. Or dancing SpongeBob.
Rainbows! There you go.
Oh, yes. Rainbows. Woo! Okay, and for some reason, I can't say why, but it seems to have addressed some issues that we had in our slider here.
Is this were you expecting it to just fix itself?
Not entirely.
Okay.
But I was pretty confident that there was something wrong with my Nougat packages, although I couldn't find or identify which one it was or why. I wish I had better explanations behind this for you guys, but I don't. I really don't. But there was something behind the scenes that just was causing the points to happen. So let's take
it.
Yeah, well, we're gonna take it. So now let's go ahead and fire this off. Okay, we at least got back a null. Okay, that's fine by me. The reason I get back a null is because it didn't find a closest location behind me. Why? Because I'm hosting this via localhost. So our location services won't actually work next week, or I'll route this outside my house and back in, and show you that the location finder will actually work, because it'll pull in, or we'll set up a fake IP address. So one of those two.
Okay.
We'll show you how we can get it to work. But it at least is returning it, and I bet if I go ahead and go Control Alt P, or if I go debug attached to process, I'm not even sure where it is in this list anymore. Here we go, attached to process here. I'm going to attach to the W3 process, and let's just go see what our service is doing. And this is, again, a custom service that we wrote. It lives in this area here, MVCs, controllers. All right. Geolocator. Okay, so we want to see if these get hit. So let's go ahead. Actually, we should be able to just reload this page. See if that does it. All right, here we go. So it's now into our constructor here. It's going to load in our locations helper. Lots of fun things will happen here. I'm going to literally step through it. So it's going to set our...
Yeah, could you change the IP? Or not here, right?
I could... Yeah, I probably could. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see if I have a portion. Okay. So we're building a list of providers. For those of you who don't know, Sitefinity has this idea of providers. The providers allow you to control content, say per site, or offer, say, a logical explanation, or a logical separation of content. Okay, so here we're going to set the users. Actually, I could probably set it in my cookie. Let me do that. I'll do that in a minute.
Hey, you don't have to. I mean, we can totally test this next week, but I was just curious.
Okay, so here it's going to try to get my location. What it's going to use is the request itself.
Yeah.
So here in this get IP address. Okay, here you go. So here it gets our current context request. So this is from .NET. Yeah, actually, I could do it. I can do it in here. Let me see. All right, let me just grab one. I think this one should work. Okay. Okay, so it's trying to parse all these. Man, it's pulling all of these out of the request. Oh, here, we'll just do this. Okay, let's go into our immediate window, and let's go request dot headers dot add Oops. Okay, so we should be able to just do, yeah, okay. Let's use this, so I think that should be IP address for hopefully Indiana, and then let's just use this X forwarded for. How about that? That should trick it enough.
All right.
Okay, and it should step into this. Here we go. All right, we got it to step in. I don't know. I just Googled IP addresses for Indiana because that's where I happen to live. So let's see if it works. Okay, so we got an IP address there. The IP is not null. It's now going to use our service. So this is a Sitefinity thing.
Yep. Yeah, you mentioned it.
Yeah. So this is going to try to get the service, and let's see what we get back here. There you go. So we got United States. Oh, no, look at that. City, Indiana. Oh, it found me Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Hey, it works.
Hey, it works.
Yeah.
Actually, if you want to see my Google, here's my Google result. It actually said that. I just didn't read into it enough. It actually says that right there. It's the Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Who knew it existed? Now we do. Okay, so back to the code. Sorry, guys. So now that we have our location, now I don't think I have any. I don't know. Did we? Well, we'll go back and we'll set a location here in a second. And we'll set it.
We got
and we'll set
4 minutes.
What do we got? 4 minutes. Cool. All right. Let's see. Closest location. Did we have one that thinks it's close enough? Oh, I think it found one. Okay. Let's use it. I think it worked.
This is, which one is a Burlington? Yeah,
It's close enough.
that's well enough.
You'll definitely be hungry by the time you get there.
It's like a 10-hour drive.
It's not bad. For good food, can you really complain? And there you go. Hey, it worked. So it looks like it has a couple issues with calculating the properties, but we're at least there. We got our content item to show up, and if I drive to this, this will actually navigate me directly to the individual detail page for that content. Oops, forgot we still got some break. Let's stop.
Give me a sound for my hooray sound and confetti.
Okay. All right, and then here is the details for our Burlington, Massachusetts.
There you go. I mean, there are things to fix up, but I mean, step one, done.
Hey, and I did it all within an hour, and we fixed it. And you guys got to see a Sitefinity upgrade, and you got to see a custom service partially work.
This is real, people.
This is real.
This is real. You saw us do an upgrade, and things magically work. There you go.
Yeah, I'll probably, if I get any other detailed information on why that was happening, I will happily share with the group once I found out. But to be honest, I have no clue why it would not register that route.
There could be a bunch of things like with the Nougats.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even I suspected clearing out my bins. Actually, the only thing I didn't do, and again I only have a couple minutes here. The only thing I didn't do was actually to delete my packages folder, and then do a package reinstallation. Sometimes that helps alleviate either missing packages or fixing any .NET bindings that might be associated. But hey, look, we got to win. We're gonna sign off for the day. I appreciate everybody's time and listening. You can find the recordings on our.
It's all one playlist on YouTube.
Yep.
Just look for Telerik and then look for Sitefinity Mondays. It's all one playlist. Right. So
Yeah.
I actually love streams like this where we just like hop on and we have real problems that we want to power through and we get through. Right. So it's good.
We did it.
All right, folks. Let me see. Yeah, you got your robotic "I love you" voice, but we love you. You know that. And thank you for joining us. This was a quick 1-hour thing where we powered through some real-world stuff, and we got a location working for our nearest restaurant, coming from a corporate restaurant website. So we are making progress, and thank you, Jonathan, for taking the time out. You had a busy day with clients and other phone calls, but glad you were able to hop on. So folks, if you're in the chat room, just hang on for a little bit more. We'll switch over to Ed and John. Sorry, you were saying something, Jonathan.
That's all right. Thanks again, everyone, and take care.
All right, that's it from us, and thanks. Bye-bye.
See you next week.